Let's continue this with Niall Stanage. I'm so excited to see you, White House columnist for The Hill. Okay, Niall, so the former president and Governor DeSantis, they've been allies, but then there's been this growing divide over the past couple of years. They've had differing opinions on the COVID vaccine, the shade the former president threw at DeSantis endorsing Colorado Senator John O'Dea. They haven't been to each other's respective rallies. Trump referring to DeSantis as we heard, Ron DeSanctimonious, inferring that DeSantis thinks he's better than other people. Is this all adding fuel to a presidential run for both of them?
Oh, I think it is. I don't think there's any question about it. Those changes that you just outlined really came about when the protege, Ron DeSantis, became the rival. Back in 2018, then President Trump endorsed Governor DeSantis when he was running for the governorship for the first time. Since then, Governor DeSantis' stature has increased in the Republican Party. And we now see some polls, there was one just yesterday in Florida, showing DeSantis slightly ahead of Trump in a 2024 matchup in that state. So you put that factor together with all the things that you have just mentioned, and clearly this is the kindling for a pretty fiery presidential contest between the two if they both get in.
It'll be interesting to see what voters think about which one can handle the presidency more. But in Georgia, GOP Governor Brian Kemp, he was targeted by former President Trump at one point. He ignored the attacks. Do you think DeSantis will just remain quiet and let this blow over?
Well, I think he will in the short term. I mean, obviously, Governor DeSantis has his own race in the next 24 hours. He's expected to win comfortably against his Democratic opponent, Charlie Crist. Now, if it gets into an actual race between Trump and DeSantis, obviously that would change things in a very marked way. In the case of Governor Kemp, whom you mentioned, he was just really trying to get past a Trump-backed challenger in his primary, which he did easily. And he was very careful to chart a course that didn't really mix it up excessively with former President Trump. DeSantis, I think, will stick with that kind of approach in the near term, but once a campaign were to begin, then the gloves would come off in a pretty emphatic way, I think.
There have been some vocal critics, of course, in the GOP. Republican mega donor Ken Griffin saying that he will not support Trump and will back DeSantis. Is that impactful in a major way, especially with voters' perceptions? I don't know that they are keeping up exactly with these mega donors.
Right, absolutely. I mean, Republican primary voters aren't too bothered one way or another as to what, millionaires and billionaires do with their money. But it does point, I think, to a sort of unease among the donor community, as it's called, with the idea of a second or third, in fact, Trump run for the presidency. I think there are a number of people in that wealthy Republican backing community who are uneasy about that and who share Mr. Griffin's idea that it is time to move on from Trump. Now, you talk to people in the former president's orbit, they talk about the fact that he's never been particularly popular with that ultra-rich donor constituency. His support back in 2016 was from grassroots backers of conservatism, and they think he can replicate that easily enough, so they're not overly concerned about issues like Mr. Griffin.
Well, the former president mentioning how big a percentage of GOP voters are likely to vote for him, citing some statistics that are, pretty factual. But then a recent poll shows 62% of voters identify more with the party than Trump. So we will see how these numbers play out. Niall, of course, always good to see you.
Good to see you too, Adrienne. Take care.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.